The fox had been hungering for quite some time. Its fur was growing thin, a dull blanket over starving ribs, and it walked with the careful steps of one who has but little strength to spare. It limped as it walked, for its left forepaw had been hurt some time before by the trap of a hunter. It had escaped the trap with its life intact, but now it hungered, and could no longer hunt. Today it had caught a carrion scent on the breeze, sweetish, cloying, the smell of rot. It was a hope, and the fox was limping towards it as quickly as its meagre strength would allow. Surely it could find something to scavenge from a kill so old. But as it followed the scent and at last slipped through a line of dense bushes into a clearing, it found not a wasting cadaver, not the remnants of some other creature's hunt, but a camp, a man's camp, with a greasy fire and a row of iron cages with thick bars. The man himself sat beside the fire, whittling from a piece of bone. His skin and tattered clothing were smeared with dirt, but his eyes, for he looked up when the fox came into the clearing, and held it with his gaze, were deep and dark and burning. The fox trembled under the weight of that gaze, yet it found it could not run. "Come here, then," said the man, and the fox limped nearer. The smell of rot that had lured it there wafted from the cages. The man smelled of apples and fresh blood. It was a good smell for a hungry fox. Hopeful, desperate, it crept up closer. "You've come here wanting something," said the man. "I can grant your wish, little one. Anything you desire. Tell me, what do you want, most of all?" He snapped his fingers, and the fox found itself speaking in man words, hoarse and croaking from its little fox throat. "I want food and fullness and a healthy paw," it said. "I want to run again, to hunt again." The man smiled, sharp-toothed. "I'll need one thing from you only," he said. "I'll take the scents from your nose, and your wish will be done." In the cages, the rotting smell things writhed and moaned. They were strange, twisted, faceless, but one had been a bear once, by the look of it, and one a lynx. Several of them must have once been men. "What are they?" asked the fox, pointing with its nose. "Ah," said the man, smiling still, "these are those who could not content themselves with but a single wish. They gave up their senses one by one, till now they know not where nor what they are. But they are happy. I keep them only because they cannot keep themselves. All their wishes have come true." That was a frightening thought, and it gave the fox pause. But it had hungered long, and could not hunger much longer and keep its life. "For a full belly and a healthy paw, I will give you my sense," it said. And the man laughed, long and loud and harsh, and threw the fox a piece of half-charred meat from the fire. And it ate it at once, filling its belly with strength and its nose with burning. When it had finished, it found that it could stand again. "Thank you," it said, and dashed away into the forest. And its belly was full, and its paw was healed, but the forest was dead and empty to its nose, lifeless. Though the fox could run again, it could not hunt, for it could find no prey. The mice it found by the sound of their paws skittering through the leaves were enough to slow its hunger, but never to stop it. And though it could feel the wind pushing through its fur, that wind could bring it neither joy nor news of food, nor could it warn the fox of danger. At last, as its strength waned and its fur stretched tight over its ribs, the hungry fox could see no way to save itself, except to return again to the man with the cages. It could not find him by scent. Long it wandered through the woods, listening for the crackle of a fire, the rasp of a knife against bone, the moaning of the faceless things he kept. At last, one day, the feel of warmth on its snout and the taste of ash on its tongue led it back to the clearing while the fire still smouldered. The man was gone. The cages still stood there, and the fox crept close and looked at a thing that had once been a man-child. It had no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue. Its head lolled and its feet twitched, and its cries were a wordless wail that set the fox's fur on end. All at once it turned, as if to look at the fox, and from behind there came the voice of the man. "So you've come back, then, I see. For another wish, I'll take the tastes from your tongue." The fox turned. The man stood there smiling, sharp-toothed and burning-eyed, idly tapping his knife against his leg. In the cage, the man-child screamed. The fox was hungry, starving, desperate. The man could give it food. It could smell no more scent of blood or apples or rot, but its belly was growling, and it opened its mouth. But there was food. The child thing's foot kicked out between the bowels. The fox bit into it, savagely, hungrily, and the child thing could not feel it. The taste was bitter, but it was food. It was strength. It was life. The man's face was twisting, darkening. He raised the knife. The fox tore away a last strip of flesh and fled. Behind it, something crashing through leaves and branches, howling, wailing, moaning, growling. The cages were open.